Commissioner of the TRSBA here. It's Tim Woosh here. We're going to do a bit of, after much demand. There's been a demand for a podcast to start the season. So here we go. We're going to do it. We're going to see what's going on here. Share my screen and let's get going here. Season 27, I think this is the episode 1. This is the 9th, or might be, what date is it? 9th, might be, yeah, that's yesterday. That's actually, yeah, the 9th of November 2024. And let's have a look at what's been going on around the place. The top 20 players in the TRSBA, this is sort of through the first 10 games. To me, it's a little bit of a surprise that Jokic is way ahead. Look at that, 52 fantasy points a game. Going fantastic. You got Anthony Davis second. Giannis, Luka, Paolo, who's now injured, Jason Tatum, Karl Anthony Towns, very, very good. Sabonis, Shea, LeBron, Bray, Lillard, LaMelo. It's good to see LaMelo back. I expected he'd be this good. Edwards, it's surprising. I thought he'd be better than 14th in the league. But those 3-pointers so far leading the league by far. Jaylen Brown, he's injured for a little bit, I think, but he might be back soon. KD's been awesome. RJ Barrett hasn't played too many games, but he is really up there at the moment. Harden, as we expected, is good. Cade, very, very good. Vucevic, we'll talk about him, 20th best player. Early busts. Now, let's just put a caveat on this fucking thing right here, right now. It's only not even 10 games really into the season for most of these players, so their stats will change over the course of the whole season. 90% of the time, these players that are on this bust list will end up with better stats than what you see right here for the season. So just remember that. So just go easy a little bit regarding that, okay? Now, Wemby, we said that he's a bust because, ranking him number 30 at 31.67 fantasy points a game. Yes, he is the number one stock when it comes to trade value in the TRSBA by probably a long way, in my opinion. But to be number 30 in the league after nearly 10 games, even though he's probably averaging about 4 or 5 blocks a game, is disappointing. He's had at least 3 or 4 bad games. So that's why he's a bit of a bust. Brunson, to me, probably it's probably a little bit rough, but we've obviously Towns in New York now, but I think that's fair to say that he should be better than that. Curry in particular, 29 fantasy points a game. Probably been injured a little bit, but that's okay. Donovan Mitchell, Cavaliers unbeaten, but he's 28.7 fantasy points. I think they're just playing really well as a team, not so much the dominance of one player like a Donovan Mitchell, sometimes in the top 15 in the league. Halliburton's been a little bit frustrating if you own him, which I believe the Tigers do, 26.89 fantasy points a game. Certainly frustrating, as is owning Jimmy Butler. Definitely frustrating that he's got to this age, and I don't know if he'll be much better than that this year, to be fair. 71. Fred VanVleet, you probably expect a lot more out of him if you got him. Both the Bridges, both averaging 23.25, 94, 95, both frustrating, so let's put that there. Yes, we know PG-13 hasn't played a lot, but he's ranked 99th, and he's played 3 games. So they're the early busts from what I can see at the moment. Hot players, RJ Barrett, we spoke about him, 35.83, Vooch, 34.56, Zubac. I'll tell you what, Bulls are really happy with his performances, 31.78, he's starting for them right now. Norman Powell's doing a lot better than anybody ever expected, even though he might be the third option or second or third option in Clipperland at the moment. That's just probably beyond what most people were expecting from this guy who hasn't really sniffed 30 fantasy points a game in his career. And he's up there now. Pirtle's been really, really good for Toronto. They've had a few injuries though, 29 fantasy points a game. Schroeder, pretty much a free agent. You could get him for nearly 0.5 off. There's not a lot of value to him, but there he is at 28.56 fantasy points a game, and certainly Austin Reeves is being solid at 27.11. So let's look at the ladder. We look at the West there. The reason the West is in bigger, it's because it's a bigger conference, and they've got 7 teams averaging more than 207. That's very good. The Pens, Saints, Dubs, Barbs, Tigers, Hurricanes at 4 and 3, Snipers as well. So 7 really teams that will battle it out. One of those teams will miss and missed the playoffs, unfortunately for them. And in the East, it's really a shit show over here. The Boars are going well. The Nerds will talk about all these teams. Cows, as expected, doing well. And then we've got the Jags, Preds, Lions, Hounds, and Butchers all playing like absolute turds at this stage. There's a lot of varying reasons for that. We're going to go from the worst team to the best team. Just a bit of a recap. Let's look at the Flyers. They're ranked worst at the moment. The shining light there has been LaMelo Ball. John Collins to another extent. I think he's still on the fucking team. I don't know. And Westbrook has been there as well. So I think they've got Zach Edey. I think they'll be pretty happy with Zach Edey if they still got him. He's been good. He's sort of been up mid, not very great. It's not a great team to have. You'd be frustrated if you owned Andrew Nembhard. 15. So just ignore OG Anunoby, that he's no longer on that team. So just put a line through that. At the moment, just put a line right through that one. Should have updated it, but anyway. Keegan Murray, he's still there. I believe he's their best. Walker Kessler, Bilal Koulibaly. So you got some good players there. You've got let's just go back here a bit. So not much to say there. It's a struggling team at the moment. 14, the Wolfhounds. Let's take a look. I'm pretty happy with the ascension of Jaden Ivey, and I think it's upwards from here. I really do. Josh Giddey, it's about what you expect there. Aaron Gordon, a long-term injury. I should have actually put down how long that was for. Markkinen will be frustrating to own. He actually could have easily been on the bust list along with Van Vliet because, 24.2 by his standards is not great. Mikal Bridges. So you've got a lot of people there. Claxton, just playing 23 minutes a game. Sexton, Marshall. I do like this Jared McCann. I saw him play yesterday. He looked really, really good for Philly. But just a mid team. They're just struggling. They really are. I mean, I don't expect them to do much this season. The Wolfhounds. The Lions, they did that trade and they've got Hero now. They've got Alex Sarr. So Alex Sarr, they've got a lot of guys actually averaging above 20 fantasy points a game. So I'm surprised they haven't sort of won more games, but because they've got Jalen Green playing well, they've got Tyler Hero playing well, they've got Suggs playing well, they've got Brandon Miller back. Dyson Daniels is in a good situation. This team, I think, will win some games this year. There's obviously no superstars there, but I do like what I'm seeing with some of these guys. I think they're heading in the right direction. There's a veteran support there. We'll get Scoot Henderson to obviously turn over a new leaf, but they're on the up. I mean, look out for them. This is like a 4-time champion, I think, is of the league, 3 or 4-time champion in a row. So they know how to build a team, and this is the makings of it. They just need to put a few other pieces together, and I think they will certainly be fine. Yeah. The Predators now, a lot of problems here. Bill's missed a game or two. George, we know, has missed some time. We haven't had a game out of Embiid yet, so there's no stats there at all for Embiid. Palo was playing so well, and now he's injured 19 games. Nurkic, I think I saw him the other day, looked a lot better. Scottie Pippen Jr., amazing, had that triple-double. There's some really good things to think about here, but it's been frustrating with the Banchero. Levine's now injured as well, so it's just going to be frustrating for the Predators, and we just don't expect them to really be much of a threat in the East this season, I don't think, unless they can get a run on with Embiid, but it doesn't look great. They need obviously Banchero back, but I can't see that happening until January at this rate. The Jaguars. Now let's have a really good look at this fucking crap-ass team at the moment. This is very fucked, is a good word to say. Michael Porter Jr. being your best player is not a good sign. So he's playing well at the moment. He's on a heater. It's needed. We've won 2 games, lost 5. Should have probably beat the Wolfhounds. We had a weird lineup and lost by 1 point. Jordan Poole has been really, really good until the last game. I think the last game was back to how he was last year. He's back down to 26.7. Kuzma out for 8 games. McCollum out another 7. Miles Bridges out 10. Anthony Simons has been a little bit frustrating, 24.6. So there's been no Porzingis, of course. They've had some good performances out of Peyton Pritchard. I think Duran has been absolute shit. We resigned him for a cheapish contract, but it's not not great. 23.4 minutes. That'll obviously go up. So we have to resign him on the downside. Hopefully he'll come back to how it was toward the end of last year. Me and Thompson, we'll see some him. He'll have to fill in some stats. The rookies, Stephen Castle, starting to do some stuff. Miles McBride, a good free agent signing. I think we got signed Isaiah Stewart as well, just to remember that one. Being very fucking frustrating though for the Jags. At the moment, as I said, Michael Porter Jr. has been certainly been a good highlight. But apart from that, we can't say too many frigging good things there. The snipers, Giannis, number 3, very very good. Irving, Ingram. Ingram's actually been really good. I've been a little bit surprised he's inside the top 32. Garland is good. So they've got 4 good players there, all doing well. Austin Reeves, 5, he got so handy out in 19 games. That's pretty till January. Kaminga's been frustrating to own. Clarkson, Pella, very frustrating. Ricochet had that one big game, but he's a rookie, so I don't expect too much out of Zachary Ricochet. The Knight Rider, the Hurricanes, we've got the number 1 player in Jokic. Who would have thought that the number 1 player would end up on this team? And there he is. And then they've got Bam, Donovan Mitchell, and an injured sort of mess a little bit in Jamal Murray. Buddy Hield is right up there, number 7. That's a bit of a surprise. Christian Brown, very, very good. So you've got some good players there. Keldon Johnson, serviceable. But apart from that, fucking go into that eye of the hurricane as far as I'm concerned. Number 8, the San Fran Tigers. Let's just have a detailed look at this team. Sabonis, ranked number 8. He's doing well. 39 fantasy points a game. Very solid for Duos. RJ Barrett has been a shining light as well. Scotty Barnes, he's out injured another 6 games. De'Aaron Fox, it's about what you expect from De'Aaron. You can't expect too much more, too much less, but got to expect a lot more from Tyrese Halliburton. Really a top 20 sort of player in the TRSBA, ranked 60 so far. Been frustrating to have. Was not in form at the moment. Certainly playing like shit. Nick Richards, it's good that he's sort of had a bit of a run, but now he's out for 6 games. Wendell Carter Jr., he's also out. Don't think Akshay Abaji, he's no longer on that team, so put a line through that. So some stuff going on there. Be interesting to see what happens. You've got guys like Missy getting some minutes as well, I think. The Cows, let's have a look here. Brown's sort of had a couple of games out lately, but he's the best player on the team, probably by far, 36.5. This team is ranked 7. DeJounte Murray, he's out too, another 7 games. Chet, you'd want more out of Chet, close to being a bust really with 30.89, but we'll just leave it. Cam Thomas, about what you expect, very, very good. Jared Allen has been fantastic. Massive game yesterday from Jaron Jackson Jr. He's good. Cam Johnson seems to be finding his form recently. I do like that. Jeremy Grant is Jeremy fucking Grant, and Santi Aldama is Santi Aldama. They've got a few of these Memphis players in there. Bub Carrington ranked 115, and he's a rookie. He is good. I think he's got a contract, but we'll have a look at that. He's been definitely great. D'Angelo Russell has not. Easton just can't get the playing time. He's been out injured. So this is a very deep team. Look how deep that is. Certainly going to go a long way, I believe. So there you go. Team number 6, the Barbarians. Now, it's a bit frustrating if you're the Barbarians owner, Matty McD. I think they're used to being the best team in the league, and I know it's only not that far into the season, but we've got Tyrese Maxey out another 5 games. We've got Wembanyama not playing how he probably should, but we know that's going to turn around. Pascal Siakam's doing okay, though, as is Jalen Williams. Those 2 guys have been doing what you asked them to do. Steph Curry, on the other hand, is not. He's getting a little bit older, a little bit unwiser. He's been frustrating a little bit. Franz Wagner's been very, very good. Butler's been frustrating because he's just getting a little bit older. Jabari Smith, I think, when I was talking to McD about players that he's frustrated about, this guy is right up there. I think we'll get some Peyton Watson and some Julian Straub. We know Bogdanovich out for a while. Um, so the hanging tight, they're signing a few free agents. We'll see if any of them come to any good. Please fucking sign those free agents. There's about 6 of them there that I saw. The OC double doubles. Yeah, the 2 of the top 4 players. I mean, what else can you friggin' say about that? And Durant number 16. I mean, this is vintage fucking OC double doubles here. You know, Tom Hertz, fucking Paul Ramondetta, whatever his name is. I don't know his name. DeAndre Hunter, don't worry about that one. I don't think he's fucking anything at the moment. 56. I mean, did he play what a couple of games? Kobe Watt, very good though. Rudy, yeah, you don't expect too much. Rozier, I thought he was a little bit better than that. Porter. So these are the same sort of guys they have. Pirtle, was going really well as well. Keyshawn George definitely getting some starts there for Washington. I'm not sure if he's got a contract, but playing well. Malik. So yeah, on to team number 4, the Nerds. And let's just really look at the Nerds. I did get OG in there, so he's in there correctly instead of Trey Mann, who was traded. But here are the key guys. There's about, how many of them are there? 4. There's 11 of them. 11 key guys on this team. LeBron, number 1, it's a little bit surprising, but he's very, very good. Ranked number 10, been exceptional. James Harden, just what you expect there, 35 fantasy points a game. Vooch. People keep saying Vooch is going to decline. I'd like to see when that's going to happen. It just hasn't happened yet. He's still up there. I mean, I was probably expecting a lot less than this, and probably will get a lot less than this by the season's end, but this is a great start. Beat up Mar DeRozan on a new, different team, but he's still getting 32.2 fantasy points a game. He's just an exceptional player. Josh Hart, well, there's got to get rebounds and stuff. He's there. Harris, I think they've still got him, have they? Gee, I hope that's right. I have a feeling that he might have gone. JV, I think he's there, 23.14. OG is definitely there. Clay Thompson, Raymond Green, and Simmons are all still there. Fourth, the Nerds are 4th, and apart from the Kawhi Leonard injury, there's no other injuries. So there you go. The Utah Saints. Now we're talking about teams that we've riddled injuries. You've got SGA is playing like SGA does. He just going about his business. 9th best player in this format, and Trae Young, as bad as he's been, is the 11th best player. Jalen Johnson, really solid. Can't really complain about Jalen Johnson. I think that's been such a good trade when they gave up the Snowman in DeAndre Ayton. Obviously, the 2 frustrating players are owner those first 2 picks in that 2018 draft or 19 draft, one of those drafts, something like that. Zion and Ja, both out for more than 11 games. That's frustrating if you're Dennis, because your depth is going to be tested. Evan Mobley, how could he be a 6th best player? I mean, that's fucking, have him as your 6th best player. What are we doing here? That's bloody awesome. Benedict Mathurin, what a comeback season so far for him, 24. Keontae George has been really good. Probably not as good as Hero, but, you look at what you're going to get later on in life. And Pajemski, also amazing. There's no one else really to mention. Some players have added probably more recency, Finney Smith and OJ Akbachi. So just put their names down there. LA Pens, best team in the West. They've got a couple of injuries, but nothing that's, I mean, the Bain injuries, something to think about. Cade's been really good. KAT has been absolutely exceptional at number 7 there for the Pens. Booker is doing what Booker does. Brunson, a little bit under what he was. Our friend Shindig really, really good. DeAndre Ayton. Yeah, is that where he's ended up? Hope so. Yeah, Jordan Hawkins, PJ Washington. So they've got a few guys out, doubtful. Onyeka Okongwu, been a little bit frustrating as well. But the Pens, just because they've got that depth there, and I think Grady Dick's had a few good games. I don't think that's going to hold, but my Dick is better than his Dick. Okay, just make sure of that. Now let's talk about the Wild Boars. Everything is going all right for this team. Everything. Let's have a look at this team though. Jason Tatum, Awesome. Awesome player. Number 6 in the league. Awesome. Just a great talent. Look at that. 30 points a game, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. 42.3. Lillard is ageless, it seems. 37 fantasy point. Number 12 in the league. If you would have told me that he'd be better than Halliburton, Halliburton would be 60 and Lillard would be 12, I'd say that you're a bit off. But that's the reality we see right now, is that Lillard is the fourth best player. And this has spearheaded this unbeaten 7-0 run. Anthony Edwards is probably even not doing, he'd probably get asked for a fantasy point 2 more than that. He's led the league in 3-pointers. Zubac has been really, really good. Great pickup. Norman Powell, another great pickup. Those 2 guys owned by the Bulls. Those 2 guys on the Clippers. Julius Randle, wow, he's back to playing. He's good. Derek White, just exceptional. We know how good he is. Dennis Schroeder, where did they fucking pick him up from? What a gun. Miles Turner doing what Miles Turner does. Chris Paul, I don't know if they've got him anymore, but we'll see. Naz Reid, Rui, I don't know if they've got all these players, but Trace Jackson Davis, Andre Drummond. It's when I looked at this team, there's one thing I noticed about the Wild Bulls: no injuries. And that is what sums up this team. They're very healthy. Touch wood, it doesn't happen, but they've got a lot of good players there. They've got 8 players in the top 51, which is just unheard of. Unheard of, and very consistent, very good depth. They're going to be hard to beat, this team. Unless they get a couple of injuries to key players, they're going to be very, very good. So with that said, just hope the Jags can turn things around. Hope we can get over these injuries. Let's hope the league can continue to do what it does, man. It's been a good start to the NBA season to watch. Obviously, it's frustrating if you're owning some of these injured players. That's the first episode, guys. Hope it wasn't too much fucking swear words. I don't think there was. Just make sure. I should have put a caveat at the start. Don't share this to your kids, okay? It's just not made for kids, this sort of stuff. It's just made for fucking us hardcore cunts, okay? That's what it's made for. So just make sure, take things with a grain of salt. Go Jack Jumpers. The Jack Jumpers somehow fucking won last night against the Breakers. That was great. Without Magne, without fucking that Shauna McDonald guy. So anyway, good stuff. Bye-bye.